Hi everybody, it's Chris Frame here, and thanks so much for joining me for a tour of Fred Olsen's Boudicca. Boudicca entered service with Royal Viking Cruise Lines as the Royal Viking Sky in 1973. When Royal Viking went out of business, the ship went through a variety of different operators, including a stint with Norwegian Cruise Line as well as Iberocruises. She finally did enter service with Fred Olsen Cruises, and in 2005 the ship was lengthened with the installation of a new section in the middle of the ship. As a result, today she has 462 cabins, which allow her to carry 960 passengers, serviced by 340 crew. She has a tonnage of 28,551 tons, and her length after the re-lengthening is 205.47 metres. The ship has a 25.2 metre beam, and she has fully stabilised and also employs bow thrusters to allow her to enter ports around the world. She's considered a small ship by today's standards, but there's still plenty of space on board for you to enjoy a variety of amenities. So come with me on board this ship for a tour of the Boudicca, and let's find out what the ship has to offer. And here we are on board the Boudicca with Fred Olsen Cruises. Let's take a look around the ship and explore this fantastic vessel. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go up to the top of the ship onto Marquee Deck 9 and start at the Observatory, and then work our way throughout the ship from there. When you're using the staircases, you'll notice these striking glass panels that have photographs of wildlife and also locations that the ship visits around the world. It also gives us an opportunity to check out some of the other areas of the ship that are visible from the stairwell as we make our way up to Deck 9. Ship seems really nice so far. We're just having a bit of a walk around, and we'll check out the front of the ship before heading back towards the aft end to complete the tour of the Boudicca. So we're now on Deck 9, the Marquee deck, and this is the second highest deck on the ship. Aside from the Observatory, this is also the location where you will find the most luxurious suites on board the ship, as well as the Marquee bar and a swimming pool. You get a real sense of the small ship feel on board as well, which is really nice, and you can tell that the ship's been kept up to date throughout its service life with Fred Olsen. And that's one thing that Fred Olsen prides itself with, is that the ships are regularly updated and refreshed, and here we can see the Observatory, which is the ship's observation lounge. This is a forward-facing area with views over both port starboard and over the bow of the ship. Now, the video was filmed in December of 2019, and as a result the ship was decorated in Christmas decorations for the Christmas celebration, which the ship enjoyed during its world cruise, which saw it sailing in Australian and New Zealand waters throughout December 2019 and January 2020. The Observatory has a distinctly nautical feel, with the nautically themed carpets there showing ship's wheels, compasses and sextants. There's also a blue and gold theme throughout the room, and plenty of comfortable seats for you to enjoy a view of the ocean. The room has a forward-facing view that allows you to look over the bridge to the bow of the ship, which must be a great place to sit and watch the seas as the ship is in various waters around the world. The space has a lot of natural light thanks to the large windows, and this is also the location where you can enjoy afternoon tea, a Fred Olsen specialty which is hosted in the Observatory. Going up one deck onto Sun Deck 10, and here we can find the fitness centre and fantastic views of the ship's funnel. Now, for someone like me who's been interested in QE2 for a long time, I can't help but notice the similarities between the Boudicca's funnel and the QE2's. And then stepping down inside the ship into the fitness centre, which is also on Sun Deck 10, we have a variety of different gym equipment which is available for use, as well as cardio and weights facilities there. The nice wooden floor as well for aerobics. Stepping down one deck again, back down to Marquee Deck 9, and we can see one of the ship's swimming pools. This is the Marquee swimming pool. It's a smaller swimming pool which would be lovely to sit in whilst the ship's in warmer climates. Unfortunately, on this particular day it was pretty cold and windy. So we can also see the main swimming pools on Lounge Deck 6. This is the view looking down from Marquee Deck 9. And then, having descended the ship into Lido Deck 7, we are now standing in the Lido Lounge. This is an area outside the Lido Lounge which allows you to enjoy your meal whilst overlooking the swimming pools. Inside the Lido Lounge you can see that there is plenty of tables for you to enjoy a drink and catch up with friends. There's a dance floor, and the room is decorated in a red theme. There's also this bar where you can pull up a bar stool and have a drink. This lounge also specializes in not only having tap beers, but also a variety of different cocktails that are available. Just outside the Lido Lounge, and we have a thoroughfare which leads through to the Bookmark Cafe. I really like the Bookmark Cafe because it combines a cafe with a library, which is fantastic. It gives you an opportunity to get a drink, find a good book, sit down and just enjoy a quiet afternoon. There's also a nice selection here of specialty cakes as well as some chocolates. Here we have a view of the library section of the cafe. It's in a half circle design with plenty of books to choose from, which you can take out and read throughout your voyage. Just having a look at the seating areas in the Bookmark Cafe, which consist of large, well-padded armchairs and couches. Just forward of the Bookmark Cafe, on the starboard side of the ship, there is a small card room, and this is a popular area for people who want to play different card games. Then there's this corridor that links this through to the gaming tables on the port side, and the corridor includes plaques from the various locations that Boudicca has visited throughout her service career. For anyone interested in maritime history or the history of this ship, this is definitely a place to find to have a look at all the different ports that the ship has visited. Boudicca has a very small casino and consists of only 2 gaming tables, and this is largely due to the market that the ship attracts. It doesn't have the large areas of poker machines like many cruise ships do. Once again, we find ourselves in one of her stairwells. Those lovely pictures there are juxtaposed against perhaps one of the busiest carpets I've ever seen on a cruise ship, but somehow the whole combination comes together and works quite nicely. You can also find a flower shop here on Lido Deck where you can purchase fresh flowers. We now find ourselves on the ship's Promenade Deck. This is also located on Deck 7. It's a real wood deck, which gives the ship a really authentic feel. One of the things that's really great about Boudicca is that she does have a variety of different cabin styles, including balcony cabins. And on Lido Deck, they have these interesting veranda cabins that actually have a small veranda that directly overlook the open promenade. And this was all added during the ship's 2005 lengthening. So we've stepped back inside the ship onto Lounge Deck 6 and stepped back in time when we've entered the Neptune Lounge. This is the ship's main show lounge, but of all the spaces on board the ship, this is the one area that I felt really did give away the ship's age with the colour scheme that's being used here. Still, Fred Olsen prides themselves on having a fleet of smaller ships and also embracing the fact that their ships are older ships with lots of character. So whilst this space does look a bit dated during the daylight hours, at night time when it's all lit up and backlit, it looks quite nice and it works well as a show lounge. So just forward of the Neptune Lounge, and we can find ourselves in the IC9 room. Here we can find a drink station which allows you to help yourself to tea and coffee as well as water and juice. So just walking through the lounge here, and then we make our way into the open area of the ship in the center of Lounge Deck 6, and here we can find the Secret Garden Cafe, Lounge and Bar. This space acts as an alternate dining venue, so it is where you'll find the buffet breakfasts and lunches on board the ship, and it is the alternate dining room for passengers who don't want to dress up to go to dinner at the main dining rooms on board the ship. As this footage was taken in the mornings, you can see that the space is still set up for the breakfast service. Lounge Deck is also the location of the 3 main restaurants, and here we can see the 4 Seasons restaurant on board the Boudicca, and this is located on the starboard side of the ship at the forward end of Deck 6. This is the restaurant where you'll find yourself with set seating and a more formal ambience than the alfresco restaurant. On the port side we have the smaller Indian Ocean restaurant, and this is utilised mainly as a spillover restaurant, but it has a very distinct theme here with the coloured chairs and a very striking ceiling. Also on the port side we have the Tintagel Restaurant. This is decorated in a very striking red theme with paintings of various landscapes across the walls. All the restaurants have large picture windows which allow you to have a beautiful view of the ocean. Now, making our way back through the ship, we can find the ship's world cruise map. We also find ourselves near the ship's shopping promenade, which is located on main deck 5. There's a variety of different boutiques to be found, and this area here utilises a central space on main deck 5, with the majority of main deck 5, Atlantic deck 4 and Marina deck 3 dedicated to passenger cabins. Main deck 5 is also where you'll find the guest services desk, the future cruise sales desk and the destination services lounge. Stepping down one deck onto Atlantic deck 4 and we find the Atlantis Spa. This area here gives you access to spa treatments as well as specific treatment rooms and a salon. So to finish off the tour of the public rooms, we are now going to head back up to lounge deck 6 and check out the Morning Light pub. This is a really nice space. It has a variety of different seating areas as well as the bar where you can get access to a variety of different drinks including a very good range of spirits. There's also some nice ship models and paintings from the long history of Fred Olsen Cruise Line. Stepping further aft from the Morning Light pub and on your way to the Neptune Lounge on the port side of the ship, you actually pass through the Oriental Room, and this is another lounge area with plenty of space for people to sit and watch the ocean go by thanks to the large picture windows. Now, I know that one of the things that people would want to see in a tour of the Boudicca is the cabin accommodation. Unfortunately, due to the fact that the ship was sailing pretty full, I only got a chance to check out one room on board, but luckily that was one of the nicest rooms that they have, a suite on Marquee Deck 9. Here we can see this large space. It has a separate seating area, a dresser area there which you can see, as well as tea and coffee making facilities and the minibar services. This cabin has a separate bedroom which also has a dresser and a seat with a view of the ocean. In this particular configuration, the beds are pushed together to form a queen but can also be arranged as two singles. And then there's of course ensuite bathrooms. This particular room here has a bath with a shower over top. And it has the wash basin as well as the separate toilet area at the entrance of the bathroom. And there ends our tour of Fred Olsen's Boudicca. I do hope you enjoyed the tour, and thanks so much for joining me on board this really delightful ship. I found her to have a very nice interior and a bit of a throwback to the old era of cruising which Fred Olsen does so well. She is a little bit more dated in her design than the Braemar. I do have a video about the Fred Olsen Braemar, so check that out in the link in the description. But this particular ship here had some lovely, charming spaces on board, and I think you'd really enjoy a long duration voyage on board the Fred Olsen Boudicca. Let me know what you thought of the ship in the comments below. If you sailed on board, I'd love to hear your perspective of life at sea on board the Boudicca. And if you do enjoy this video and others in my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I hope to see you on board.